sometimes like all you want to do is run. Hear me out, hear me out. It's all the things you never show. There are the things I want to know. Secrets start in your heart so slow. But if you don't wanna tell me now, I guess I'll never know. Losing almost all my energy. It's getting hard to talk to you, and I'm the only one who speaks. It's all the things you never show. There are the things I want to know. Secrets start in your heart so slow. But if you don't wanna tell me now, I guess I'll never know. Here we go, turning all the wrongs into rights. Here we go, you can take me there tonight. Whoa, this life is all we know. Whoa, I can't stay if you can't let it go.
Hello, BU Nation. How are you guys doing? Welcome to one more edition of Friday Night Live here on Brazil Unsubtitled, your favorite channel to get to know all you ever wanted to know about Brazil, but in English. And I am your second favorite host. Of course, your favorite host of all time would be Brad Zuka, right? I'm just a replacement for him, but I think he will do it. For tonight, he will do it, and for the past few weeks, of course. I'd like you, first of all, to tell me if you can hear me okay. Yes, okay, the audio is perfect. I can see here on my other computer. How you guys doing? I hope God is blessing you all. You guys are having a tremendous end of the week. Or the beginning of the end of the week, because it's Friday. So it's TGIF, or as we say in Portuguese, sextou, right? So I just want to start by saying hello, by greeting Charles Jones, always with us. Thank you very much for being here one more night, one more day, right? Also, Neo Sanjin, this guy who is a VIP on this channel. Actually, the channel belongs to me, to him. I'm just a supporting actor in the whole thing, because this is the lead man. But everything is okay. Thanks for being here, guys. Thanks, Charles. Thanks, Neil. I hope more people can show up and discuss with us about this beautiful country of Brazil, and also all the things that involve the channel. Let me just adjust my chair here so that it could be comfortable like this. So the sound is coming out perfectly. I want to say, guys, I hope we have a tremendous conversation here, a great night, because I have a lot of things to talk to you about, especially about the news. I was seeing a few of the news, and I was seeing a few of the news, and we have some things to talk about. Some things are happening in Brazil, so it would be interesting to bring those topics to the conversation. You know, Neo, you write sextou, and it's funny because YouTube thinks it's sex to you. That's bizarre, right? That's why in most social medias, sextou, as we say in Portuguese, which would be TGIF in English, the social medias understand that this is English, and you're offering sex to people, sex to you. No, sextou, guys. Come on, YouTube needs to get adapted to the Brazilian Portuguese as well. But it's a pleasure to have you guys here. Just want to remind you, yeah, I just want to remind you we have live streams every Mondays and Fridays at 6:30 Brasilia time. And from time to time, when your host is not that busy, you guys also have 3 videos a week. It hasn't happened lately. I'm so sorry. Hillbilly's here. Sextou. Boa noite, pessoal. Boa noite, Hillbilly. Obrigado por estar aqui. Yeah, they need the AI to learn, Neil. The sextou has nothing to do with sex to you. Come on, YouTube. You need to get adapted, buddy. This is new language in Brazil. Very common to say sextou. Some people are so happy they also celebrate Thursday. So they say quinto. Because quinta, you guys know it's Thursday in Brazilian Portuguese. So quinto, some people start celebrating from Thursday on. But the normal one is sextou, right? So we have videos 3 times a week. Remember that, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. I'm kind of running late on posting them, but I'm going to get back to it as fast as possible. The problem is I've got 2 very big videos to post. One about the Brazilian soldiers who defended the Allies as well during the World War II. They fought alongside with the Americans, with the British, with the Chinese, with the Chinese, yes, because of Japan, yes, with the Russians. So it's a very interesting story. And there's another video that I'm making about Sérgio Vieira de Mello, the guy that if he hadn't died, he would have become the biggest official inside the United Nations, right? The representative of the organization. But too bad he died in Iraq in 2003. So it's a very interesting video. He was the guy that I used to follow in order to have him as a role model, right? Even the choice of my major was based upon him. He was very smart. He spoke 6 languages fluently, especially French, because he studied at Sorbonne. So it's a very interesting video. But it's taking up much of my time with the editing, and it's going to be worth it. Pretty soon it's going to come out on the channel, so keep an eye on it. And also, guys, make sure you are subscribed to the channel. If you aren't, please smash the like button, and also click on the subscribing button. Very important that you do that. Also reminding you, we have 2 other channels. One, it's for learning Brazilian Portuguese, called Portuguese with Mark Saint. Things are quite calm there as well. But as I've already told you, I'm going to clone myself and be able to keep up with all the projects that I got. And the third one is a new one. It's called Brazilian Market with Mark Saint. It will be intended only for investments in Brazil, not only real estate, but all kinds of investment. And you can find the links to those 2 channels here under the description of the video. Just go there later, click on them, and please subscribe to help this guy here have more relevance on this beautiful platform. How you guys doing? Hope everything's okay. If you guys already have a question that we could be discussing about, be my guest. I think I have given you all the messages that I wanted. But also I want to say this has been a very sad week for most Brazilians, because most of them got sad with the story of Juliana. I don't know if you guys saw this back in your countries, but Juliana was a Brazilian carioca, a Brazilian girl who loved traveling everywhere in the world, and she went to Asia to make a dream come true, because she wanted to visit a few countries in Asia, and that included Indonesia, and she wanted to visit a volcano with a group of tourists in Indonesia, and that she did. She went there, but the problem is, when she was going up, they say it's almost a 4-hour hike up to the top of the mountain or more. But the interesting thing is that the floor, the ground on top of the mountain or going up is very sandy. So there are places that you step on that are pretty unstable. So Juliana slid down. Actually, she was left behind first because the guide, Juliana told him, "Oh, I need some time to rest," according to the news, of course. And the guy said, "Okay, so sit down there, rest, and I'm gonna go up with the rest of the people. We'll be back." And that she did. She stayed, and when they came back, she was not there anymore. So they realized she had slid all the way down, at least 300 meters down, something like this. And they couldn't go rescue her. And for me, it was really bizarre because when I was listening to the news, they said, because she is like 300, 600 meters deep. But for me, it was strange because I saw some videos about being stuck inside the caves. And for me, that was really scary, you know? I'm not saying that what happened to Juliana was not scary, but it took me a while to understand what was going on. And I said, why do you say deep? Because, okay, I understand it's a slide, but she's outdoors. How hard is it to rescue her? She probably slid down and got stuck somewhere. And yes, it was confirmed because a drone flew over and found Juliana alive, moving and looking away. She didn't see the drone, but they saw her alive. That was on the second day. So 2 days later, they found her. She was wearing just a t-shirt, probably going through all the cold of the mountain because the fog was intense depending on the period of the day. And she got really cold there, hungry, thirsty, waiting for rescue, and nothing happened. Like, they always cut to the search party, or they stopped the search party around 4 or 5 p.m. and said, no, we have to come back tomorrow because there's no visibility. So that was a very bizarre situation. And I think she couldn't try to go up because the floor was very sandy, so she would definitely slide down. And then it would be worse. And then I started understanding because the people didn't explain well. Because it looked for me that, okay, you are away from the top, keep going up, find some rocks. No, it was not that simple. So, long story short, it took 4 days, and come on, she's alive. And according to the media here, the Indonesian authorities didn't move to go rescue the girl until one mountaineer, one guy, one climber, a specialist in rescuing, decided to do things by himself. So he put up a group and a team and went up to the top to save Juliana. But that was like 4 or 5, maybe 6 days later, I don't remember. When they got there, she was dead. And this broke the hearts of a lot of people in Brazil, not only her family, but everybody that was following the story. And the guy tried his best to save Juliana, this mountaineer, this climber. So he tried his best to save her, his best. So people started speculating that she probably starved to death, or she probably died of thirst, or maybe she had a fall, and you know what happens when you fall. And I just saw this morning that there was an autopsy, a prior autopsy, before putting her body on the plane and sending to Brazil. And apparently she got a lot of internal fractures and also organs were smashed. So we understand that she really slid down. She probably got desperate, said, okay, I'm not going to be waiting anymore. Nobody's coming. So I'm going to try to go up. And she probably slid down. And then when they showed another panoramic filming later, after she was already dead and everything, because they filmed the rescue of the body. This guy who put up a team to save her was responsible for also going down and pick up the body. So they showed the whole thing, and then we had an idea of how complicated the terrain was there. Juliana slid down from the point she was found with the drone first. She slid more, and there was a big cliff, and she probably fell and broke herself there. That's really sad. Her father tried to go help during the process. I think when she was 2 days disappeared and the drone found her, he took the first flight to Indonesia. Actually, he went somewhere else, but he couldn't get a flight to Indonesia because of the war. I think, I don't know if he went to the Middle East first, and then from there he went to Indonesia, but the airspace was stopped because of Iran and Israel, so it was very complicated. And I think when he got there, she was already dead. So he left a post for her, saying how much he loved her, and it was the worst day of his life. I can imagine, right? A father, you know. But then he said, what comforts us is that she died doing what she loves, which was exploring, traveling. And this is the only thing that makes our hearts a little, you know, a little, I think more in peace than, come on, I just lost my daughter. So she just went away on doing something she loved. So it was okay for him to think like that, you know. And another development of this story that I want to share with you guys, which is incredible, is the sense of unity that Brazilians have whenever there's a national involved. And this is unbelievable. And I grew up hearing that we love to hate Brazil, because there are a lot of Brazilians that have this mongrel syndrome, I have told you so many times, that might think Brazil is not that good enough, other countries are better, but do not run down the country for that Brazilian, because he's going to fight you back. It's like saying, okay, I am the only one who can criticize, or I love to hate my country, which is kind of bizarre. But when situations like that take place, the sense of unity, of togetherness is so incredible. And why am I saying that? Because once the Brazilians discovered the name of the mountaineer who took the step forward to help Juliana, even when he noticed that nobody else or the authorities were not doing anything, when the Brazilians discovered the name of this guy and his profile, they organized a fund for him, a chip in, right? They started to chip in for this guy, and they raised a fund for the guy. I think it reached more than 450,000 reais, which is incredible. Let me just check the numbers in dollars for you guys to see how much it would be. And let me check if there has been any update. So yeah, it says here, look, they were calling him a hero, which is incredible. And they also got more than 450,000 reais in this fund that they organized for the guy. I'm going to read for you guys. This is from when? Oh, from yesterday. Let me just translate here on my navigator. 1 second, please. Translation from Google Chrome, okay, guys? The name of the guy was Agam Rinjani from Indonesia, a mountaineer. So take a look. The fundraiser for donations to mountaineer Agam Rinjani, the volunteer who led the rescue of Brazilian Juliana Marins, surpassed its target and reached 404,000. I saw 450, okay? Around 10 p.m. last night, okay? Juliana was found dead 600 meters underground. I think it's underground, but below that top of the mountain, right? The summit. After falling during a hike, okay. The fundraiser was the only one authorized by the mountaineer. The campaign is promoted by the online crowdfunding platform Razões para Acreditar, which is in Portuguese, Reasons to Believe, and donations can be made exclusively through this link. Then there's a link. Beware of scams. The amount raised according to the page will be transferred to the mountaineer through an exchange application. The fundraising goal was 350,000 reais, but the amount was increased because Agam, who is Indonesian, will share the money with the team. Fantastic. The guy decided to share the money with the team that participated in the rescue operation. It's logical, but a lot of people wouldn't think like that, right? Okay, that participated in the rescue operation for Juliana will also use the funds to reforest mountains in the country. Come on, man. This guy doesn't exist. Agam is a humble, simple mountaineer with a few resources. Previously, a fundraiser requiring international transfer had been opened with the mediation of translation Sinta Stepani. Agam had resisted accepting the financial aid and asked only for prayers, but later decided to accept them. Now they are focused exclusively on Razões para Acreditar from Brazil. Fantastic, guys. Agam paid for the plane tickets out of his own pocket and gathered 7 friends to rescue. Wow, I didn't know that. To help rescue the Brazilian, according to the platform. In videos circulating on social media, it is possible to see him climbing the volcano toward the top, with a rope tied to the structure where Juliana was. The mountaineer slept one night next to the body. Agam told the newspaper O Globo from Brazil that he and other members of the rescue team stayed with Juliana's body all night on the edge of a cliff until the operation was resumed in the morning. I held Juliana so that she wouldn't go down another 300 meters. It's very sad, he added. The process of removing the body from the site lasted 7 hours. Agam said he was aware of the risk of death during the rescue. He said it was raining and rocks were falling on the slope. I wish I had done more. I apologize, but I did what I could, he lamented. On social media, he shares climbing tips. Incredible. Just incredible. Unbelievable, guys. Publicist Juliana Marins, 26, tripped and slipped during the trail on Friday night, the 20th, according to her family. She rolled down the mountain and ended up about 300 meters below the trail path on the Rinjani volcano on the island of Lombok. As a result, she was left weakened and unable to move. Juliana remained at the site for more than 4 days. During the rescue operations, rescue teams tried to get closer to where the Brazilian was, but were unable to reach her. Weather conditions also prevented the teams from attempting to rescue her. The Brazilian woman was found dead yesterday. That would be 2 days ago, because this piece of news was from yesterday. Was found dead yesterday, 2 days ago, 600 meters under or below the Mount Rinjani, the top of the Mount Rinjani. The information was confirmed by her family on social media, by the Itamaraty, which is our foreign ministry, and by the local government. Originally from Niterói, Rio de Janeiro, Juliana was backpacking through Asia with a travel agency and decided to hike around the natural landscape on the island of Lombok. The cause of the Brazilian woman's death, as well as the date and time of her death, are not known. This is old because later I saw that she had multiple fractures. The body will undergo an autopsy before being released to Brazil, which has already happened. So it's a very interesting story and sad at the same time. I say interesting because Brazilians mobilize a group of people to donate money for this guy who didn't want to accept at the first place, but then he decided to accept because he's a very humble guy and lives hard conditions in his back in his country. So incredible, just incredible that Brazilians have this recognition when something is done for another Brazilian counterpart, right? Did you guys hear about this story? So it probably it took over the whole news here for for the last 4 or 5 days. People were talking about this a lot. So Neo is saying, I did hear about it. Wow, truly heartbreaking. She seemed very adventurous and full life. My prayers are for it. Great, thank you. I heard about that. The tour guide needs to be held accountable. Yes, yeah. At the moment, people didn't want to found someone to blame, but I share my opinion. I share your opinion. I agree with you because I was telling my wife the other night, I said, come on, as a tour guide, I would never leave anybody behind. Anybody. But my father is the one to blame because this is the education he gave me. Do not leave anyone behind. If you are the guide, it's your responsibility. You are responsible for their safety. So, she was tired. Okay, sit down there. I'll be back. Many things could have happened to her as it did, you know? So crazy. This guy should never work as a tour guide in his life anymore, you know? Festa Junina ends on Monday. Yes, Junina, but then Julina starts, Neil. Then we're going to start having Festa Julina because, you know, Brazilians always find an excuse to celebrate. Oh, but June is gone. Okay, July is here, so they call Julina, Festa Julina, which is basically the same thing. It's to enjoy the cold weather. So, of course, we don't have Augustina party, okay? Festa Augustina in August, no. But until June and July, you can be sure you will find. But July is basically the same thing. And I just remembered, Neil, that there's going to be a festival from an Italian saint tomorrow. I think Santa Querupita, something like that. Festival da Santa Querupita, which, if I'm not mistaken, is in it's in a Brazil, in an Italian neighborhood here of São Paulo. I'm not sure it's Bexiga or another one, but I think I'll go film tomorrow. Because Tali saw this on a TV commercial, and she said, we need to record it. Yeah, let's do it. I think I'll go there tomorrow to film, because they have lots of wonderful food. It's going to be cold, so which makes the food even more special, the drinks. Like, the only thing that I had last Saturday when I filmed for Festa Junina was the vinho quente. Oh my God, so delicious. So delicious, guys. The wine... And then you had apple inside, orange. Oh, my goodness. And I have stopped drinking all kinds of alcohol, but that one I had to try. Amazing. Oh, talking about Festa Junina, look at what I have here. It's not on purpose. Look. It's written, troco essa paçoca por sorriso seu. If you guys are in Brazil and you want to flirt with the girls or the guys, take a look. I exchange this paçoca for one of your smiles. Or for a smile of yours. Better translation. Paçoquinha, guys. We call paçoquinha or paçoca, which is, you guys probably know. It's, I love this. It's a peanut candy. I'm going to show you guys. I just bought, because I try to control myself, but I got a sweet tooth, you know? So I end up wanting to eat sweets every day. And I bought this like 2 days ago, and I left it here on top of my table. Coincidentally, I have it for you, and I have to make the sacrifice of eating this in front of you guys. Because look at what I have to do for you guys. My job is really hard. Boa noite, Tisha. Welcome. How are you? Take a look. It's like this. It's peanut candy. Okay. Here in Brazil, they sometimes smash it to become like a flour, and they put on the ice cream. Delicious. Mm, really good. A lot of Brazilian things, right? And this is one of them. This is typically Brazilian. Paçoquinha. And they sell this all year round, okay? It's not only during Festa Junina, but Festa Junina you see a lot. And a lot of corn things as well. Like curau, pamonha. Pamonha is made out of corn. Pamonha. Delicious, guys. If you come to Brazil, you can buy this anywhere, in a supermarket, in a bar, in a bakery, virtually everywhere. It's just delicious, delicious. Oh, the production is telling me here that I have a message for you guys from Brad Zuka, so I'll be back in a minute. Okay? Enjoy. This video is going really well, right? I'm sorry to interrupt. I just want to ask you to subscribe to the channel in case you haven't, and put our channel on your list of favorites among so many bad channels that you follow. Guys, subscribing is very important for you to help us in the mission of becoming the best channel about Brazil in English on the whole YouTube. I'm pretty sure we are already, but I just want a confirmation. Also, we have 3 categories. You can be a tourist, you can be a resident, or you can be a citizen and become a BU national, as we like to say, part of the BU Nation, a member of this so beloved channel. Guys, it's on your hands to help us, and we count on you. Let's get back to the video. Thanks, Brad. Applause for this guy. Very elegant, handsome, talented, intelligent. Yeah, he paid me to say these things. Thank you very much. Thank you. Very good job done. So please follow what he said. Become a member on the channel. Help us grow. Very important. Or just binge watch the videos. Write a comment in every video that you watch, because you're going to be helping us with the algorithm. If you like the channel, you want to see the channel prosper, right? So I can't do this by myself. I need your help, okay? If you guys have any questions, I'm here. I'm going to answer. Just shoot. If you don't, I'm going to read more news, because I have separated one that is really interesting here, and it might impactate the way you see a few things here in Brazil in terms of where people are going. So while nobody asks a question, I'm going to read that for you. I was taking a look at the G1, it's the name of the portal, g1.globo, which is from Globo Media, including radio. You guys know, right? The TV, the most important Brazilian TV channel. And I came across this very interesting report about the immigration into Brazil. Let me share with you guys. Take a look. Santa Catarina is the main destination for migrants in Brazil. Find out where the new residents come from. The state received 503,580 interstate immigrants between 2017 and 2022, which resulted in a 4.66 increase in the total population, right? I just want to know how Catarinenses will react from now on. Catarinenses are the people born in Santa Catarina. if they will absorb the immigrants without any problems, if they're gonna start criticizing. It's something still to see, right? Santa Catarina has become the main destination for migrants in the country, with a positive balance of 354.3 thousand new residents coming from other units of the Federation, according to data from the 2022 census released by IBGE, which is our research and survey organ here in Brazil, this Friday, the 27th. It is the largest in Brazil in absolute numbers and also in proportion. The state received, as I said, 503,580 interstate immigrants between 2017 and 2022, which resulted in a 4.66 increase in the total population, the highest growth rate by migration in Brazil in the period. The majority came from neighboring Rio Grande do Sul, 134,000 or 134.8 thousand, representing 26.8% of the total. And then we have a list here. Take a look at the people going to to Santa Catarina. Number one, from Rio Grande do Sul. So the Brazilians from Rio Grande do Sul are migrating to Santa Catarina. 134,854 gaúchos, which are the people born in Rio Grande do Sul. On second place, we have Paraná, sending their residents to Santa Catarina. 96,110 paranaenses. São Paulo, 62,414 paulistas have migrated to Santa Catarina. Pará, very far up, right? Close to Amazonas, right? Pará, 44,901 people migrated to Santa Catarina. From Bahia, 20,285. And then we have Rio de Janeiro, so 17,027 cariocas went to live in Santa Catarina. 16,085 people from Maranhão, so Maranhenses went to Santa Catarina. On the 8th position, the Mineiros, people from Minas Gerais. 12,424 Mineiros migrated to Santa Catarina. And then we have people from Pernambuco. 11,199 Pernambucanos migrated to Santa Catarina. And on the 10th position, we have the 9,851 people from Amazonas, so Amazonenses went to Santa Catarina. On the other hand, the state saw 149,200 people leave during the period to live in other regions. So Catarinenses are also leaving the state to go live somewhere. The most frequent destinations were Paraná, Rio Grande do Sul, and believe São Paulo. People from Santa Catarina are leaving the state to come live in São Paulo. And then we have the positions. Take a look. The most frequent destinations, so as I said, Paraná, Rio Grande do Sul, and São Paulo. But we have others. So the three first. So 55,870 Catarinenses, people from Santa Catarina, went to live in Paraná. 37,207 went to live in Rio Grande do Sul. 19,933 Catarinenses migrated to São Paulo. And then we have Mato Grosso, Minas Gerais, Bahia, Rio de Janeiro, even Rio de Janeiro, 3,534. So the exchange was bigger to the side of Santa Catarina. Pará, and then Mato Grosso, and then Goiás. The data also show that Santa Catarina is the 5th state with the largest non-native population in the Federation unit, with 1.8 million people compared to 7.6 million residents or inhabitants. So you understand, 1.8 million people are non-native, but we also have 7.6 million of inhabitants in the state of Santa Catarina. On the other hand, Santa Catarina residents who lived in other federation units totaled 651.9 thousand, the 15th largest contingent in the country. They also migrate out of the state very much. Not only people go there, they also leave, right? For the first time, São Paulo has more people leaving than arriving. This is another report. Santa Catarina leads the arrival of new residents in the whole country, right? International immigration. This is interesting for you guys. Santa Catarina also recorded significant growth in the proportion of foreigners in the resident population. It more than tripled, jumping from 0.3% to 1.1% between 2010 and 2022. In 2010, the number of foreigners in the States totaled 11,671 people. In 2010, okay? I will repeat. In 2010, 11,671 people were from other countries. And for me, it's just a guess. I think most were from Russia or Argentina. Argentina number one, and then Russia, because Russians migrate a lot or immigrate a lot into Santa Catarina. In 2022, the number of foreigners increased to 7. Wow, look at that. 12 years later, the number went from 11,000 to 72,793 foreigners living in Santa Catarina. Considering foreigners and naturalized Brazilians, the number jumped from 17.6 thousand to 83.4 thousand in the same period. The number of naturalized Brazilians almost doubled in the period, from 5.9 thousand to 10.9 thousand. I don't know if you guys understand. I think it's clear when I say naturalized Brazilians. I'm just reading the mechanical translation here, right, from the Google Chrome website. But it means people became Brazilians, became citizens. They were foreigners, they were Russians, and they got the citizenship. That's the meaning, right? I think it's obvious. Sorry if I am just stating the obvious here. But it's very interesting to see. I don't know if I ever told you. I think I did say that. One day I attended to a client from our services here of finding apartments, real estate. She was American, born and raised, married to an American guy. I don't remember the state, Michigan maybe. She had 3 American kids, and her dream was to have a Brazilian kid. I don't know why. And then, I'm not saying I don't know why because it doesn't make sense to me. I just say I don't know why. Everybody has their reasons, right? So she came to Santa Catarina, and she had her baby in Santa Catarina, and she was looking for an apartment there. And at the time, I didn't work with the other states of Brazil. And if you don't know, I do work with the states of Brazil. You see how I get the connection? Learn. So now I work with all the states of Brazil. If you're looking for an apartment or a property or any kind of business, legal business, I have to make it very clear. I don't find wives or husbands for anybody, okay? Don't even write me to say, hey, could you find me a wife in Brazil? No. Do your job. Go for the flirting and meet the person yourself. I'm not a wedding agency here, okay? But if you want to invest in land or buy a property or whatever, you can call me, send me a direct message. So she wanted an apartment in Santa Catarina, and she told me her story. She wanted to have a kid from Brazil, and she was going to live in Santa Catarina. And it's funny because every time I go to YouTube, guys, I see a lot of new channels, and sometimes they are from Argentinians. Lots of channels from Argentinians. My first day living in Brazil. Incredible. They are immigrating numbers to the south of Brazil especially. And Santa Catarina tends to be the number one destination. right? Not only Florianópolis, which is the capital, the island of Florianópolis. I don't know if you knew this, but Santa Catarina has its capital as an island, and but they also go to other places in inland, right, on the mainland. So it's interesting to see the number of people wanting to come to Brazil, and they will go for Santa Catarina probably because of the quality of life, but it's also expensive nowadays. The prices are going up because of that. Because of the beaches, it's one of the states with the smallest number of crime. This is really good. São Paulo and Santa Catarina are the two states that have the lowest number of crime, but it's proportionally because we have a bigger population, right? But people say it's pretty safe in there. So this also attracts the people, of course. So interesting. Let me see what else the report is saying. With a significant increase between 2010 and 2022, the state has the third largest contingent, 83,708 people of foreigners, of foreigners and naturalized Brazilians in 2022. Only São Paulo, 342.5 thousand people, and Paraná were ahead. Has the third largest contingent of foreigners and naturalized Brazilians. People still prefer to go to São Paulo and to Paraná. The Santa Catarina municipalities with the most naturalized Brazilians and foreign citizens were Chapecó, Florianópolis, and Joinville. Guys, now that I see something happened to my... I'm very sorry. Something happened to my chat here. I was looking at the main computer and I'm not getting any updates on the chat. When I see here so many messages, let me see. Oh no. Sorry, just made a fool out of myself. Nobody wrote anything else. I just saw it moving. I thought people were sending lots of messages. So no, you guys are just not communicating. And I thought it was, so that's why I saw the messages here and here. It was not working, so what happened? But okay, everything's okay. You guys are too quiet today. I'm just talking like a chatterbox. Please, if you want to say anything, step up, send a message, or send a heart. Take a look. You can do like this to help with the numbers, right? To with the algorithm. Interact with the content. It's very important. Okay, let me see what else we have about this report that I was reading. So look, the municipalities in Santa Catarina with the most naturalized Brazilians were, or are, right? Chapecó, Florianópolis, which is the capital, and Joinville, which in Portuguese we say Joinville, right? And then it's interesting because it has like it has a chart showing who got more people and who lost more people. Santa Catarina got more people, 354,350. Goiás comes second, 186,000. Then we have Minas Gerais, Mato Grosso. And then we have Paraná, Pernambuco, Espírito Santo, Mato Grosso do Sul, Tocantins. All had acquisitions of people, like people immigrated. Acquisition of people is weird. And starting by Ceará down, they have lost people. So Ceará lost 697 residents. Roraima, 2,738 people left the state. Rio Grande do Norte, 4,633 people left Rio Grande do Norte. It's a very beautiful place. But 4,633 people had reasons not to think so or not to stay. Whatever happened, right? Sergipe, 6,036 people. Piauí, all in the northeast, 13,000 left the state. Amapá, 17,000 left the state. Roraima, 22,000 people left the state. Acre, 23,000 left the state. Uh, what else? Bahia also is on the list. Alagoas. Piauí. Piauí, I said, right? And then we have Amazonas, Rio Grande do Sul, São Paulo. Look, guys, São Paulo lost 89,578 people. So 89,000 left the state of São Paulo, right? Distrito Federal, which is our capital, take a look. 99,593 people decided not to live in Distrito Federal anymore, right? Rio de Janeiro is the record, is the one who lost more people. 165,360 people decided to leave the state of Rio de Janeiro. It's the number one champion here, right? The number one, guys. Wow, very interesting. Has there been any city-state that has surprised Brazilians in terms of transformation in the last 2 to 3 years? Maybe an area no one thought would be rise economically and as a vacation destination? Very good question, Neo Sanjin. Look, in terms of expectations, people expect São Paulo to grow, right? But I try not only to follow the news of São Paulo because I live here. Thanks, Hillbilly, for saying that it's interesting statistics. Thank you. I thought so too. I wanted to share with you guys. So people expect São Paulo to grow, but I try to read the news about the country. So I end up looking at the whole spectrum. Sometimes I watch news on TV. I'm not sure I have the exact cities that have been growing. I know a little about a few places in the Northeast that have been receiving investments in tourism, in the construction of hotels, even with Neymar involved, Neymar and some other business people, trying to create the Brazilian Caribbean. I think I've already said that. Fortaleza is under tremendous construction right now. I was there, I could see with my own eyes the new towers. It was the first time I was there, but I talked to locals and they said, yeah, the whole coast is changing. But I saw a lot of constructions being lifted up. Incredible. Santa Catarina is probably on the vanguard of this whole thing. The state of Balneário Camboriú. But one that nobody expected, I don't know if I have this answer. I think I need to research. One that like nobody saw it coming. I don't know, but I will check. It could even possibly be a video, you know. But Neil, you are always in São Paulo. When you are here soon, I know you'll be here soon. I'm gonna show you what's going on in the city. It's unbelievable. In terms of transportation, subway, New places, new parks, new attractions, restaurants, incredible. But I think there are so many other places in Brazil that are also undergoing such transformations. I think that's why your question is very pertinent, is very uh, precise, because I think Brazil is growing as a whole, right? Especially with these partnerships with the other members of the BRICS, especially China, right? So lots of investments coming to Brazil, and they are also helping with the infrastructure. For example, they bought a factory in Camaçari, Bahia, where Chevrolet, I guess, used to, or Ford used to assemble the cars in the past, and they're gonna assemble cars from BYD, if I'm not mistaken. So they are also working on the roads and the ports and everything, you know. So, Niels, speaking of São Paulo, I remember you mentioning that the government is actively working on cleaning up downtown. It also made the news here. Really? I didn't know that. Bloomberg News yesterday should pay you. Wow, I didn't know that. I just hope they have seen the news from my channel. According to a Brazilian YouTuber, São Paulo, yes. And look, guys, I really try to measure my feelings when I say these things, because I don't want to be biased, you know, because I live in the city. To the point, I don't like to support something to the point of being blind, right? It's like when you are in love for the first time, you don't see any bad thing the person does, or when you have a favorite politician, you look at him as a god. The guy is flawless, he doesn't make any mistakes. You will never admit even the most absurd things, you will find a way to defend the guy and justify his actions. So I don't like to be like this. So I look at the politicians here and also the city with very reasonable eyes. But I have been noticing a very interesting movement that I didn't expect, because some Brazilians, they just grow accustomed to complaining and criticizing, and are never responded by the authorities with new innovations and stuff. So what I have been seeing lately, even with the the walking vlogs I've been making. I don't know if you had the opportunity to watch, Neil, but I have a very long walking vlog, 1 hour and 40 minutes. You can just play there and do your stuff and keep listening, because I try to cover most of the downtown area. And there are so many places that are under renovation. They're breaking the sidewalks and changing the pavement. And lots, but lots of police officers, Neil. Lots of police officers everywhere. Every street you turn, you're gonna see two guys, a car here, guys on motorcycles, police on horses. It's incredible, incredible. So there are even very wealthy people, or at least influential people in Brazil, that are starting to consider moving into the downtown area, because they are noticing a very interesting movement that I have noticed as well. They are looking and say, look, this is the time we buy something here, because something might come. It's just a speculation as of yet, but I can see a very interesting movement. And even with the government saying that they're gonna transfer the the governmental palace into the downtown area, so more things will come, because the governor will work from the downtown area, and the project has been approved already. The architecture company has been approved, the design, and I have seen the design. It's beautiful, very modern. It will interact with the population, meaning that you can go walk under the building because there will be those spaces under the construction with parks, with water fountains. Amazing, just amazing. I just can't wait for them to start. I know that São Paulo is spending billions and billions of dollars with the renovations, with they are building like 3 new lines of subway lines answering Hillbilly right now. And they are also working on trains to the closest cities like São José dos Campos, Campinas. So they are not only expanding inside the city of São Paulo. For the first time, the subway will get to Guarulhos. But it already does with the, but it's not the subway. It's the train that arrives at the airport. But the subway will arrive in the city of Guarulhos, downtown, where I was born in Guarulhos. So it will arrive in Guarulhos. So from the city of Guarulhos, you'll be able to get to Paulista through subway. So all those cars that you see on the highways, they will disappear because people won't need to take the cars to work in São Paulo anymore. And people from Guarulhos, in its majority, normally go work in São Paulo and go live in Guarulhos, like my father used to do, you know? So the updates of the subway, my friend, the new line, the orange line, is 69.5% complete. How do you know this exact number? Because I follow a channel that only talks about railways, rail investment. So this guy goes to all the expansions in São Paulo. We had those big machines that cost millions and millions of dollars every day, I guess, to that dig, that excavate. So they, I think, on the orange line, it's already done. They don't have to do that anymore. We had, I think, 2 or 3 of those we call tatuzão, or big armadillos, working simultaneously. I think 2 of them were working simultaneously here in São Paulo. One of them has already completed its task, its mission, and now they are building the stations. But it's gonna be amazing, the orange line. It's gonna be known as the line of the universities, because it's gonna connect the University of Mackenzie, which is American, by the way. American Presbyterian people founded that in São Paulo. And also will connect to PUC, which is the Pontifícia Universidade Católica. It's a Catholic university, very famous in São Paulo, in Brazil. And many others. So it's gonna be amazing. You'll be able to go to different regions of São Paulo through the subway. I just can't wait, man. Fantastic. Of course, I will show everything on the channel. By hand. That's interesting, because we also have the cement trucks here, Hillbilly. I wonder where it was, and I wonder why they have chosen to do that. Because it would take too long. Even the developers, the companies, when they build, they use trucks. So I wonder why. Maybe it was one specific thing, or maybe they had so many other trucks working other places, or it was a small thing, or maybe they did this. I just don't know. But it's funny because São Paulo, it has to run against time sometimes. So you will choose things that will be faster. You know what I mean? Yes, I follow some other channels that talk specifically about São Paulo and all the modifications. Guys, there are some videos that I really wanted to come here and tell you and show you. But I will find a way to do that. I don't want to give excuses all the time. That's not my thing. I want to do it, and just be patient because I will bring those news. But I want to be there. For example, there is a place called Cidade Matarazzo. I'm gonna write here for you guys to research by yourself, and then you come to the channel because I'll make a video about it. Cidade Matarazzo. It's how can I explain that? It's like City Matarazzo, the name. It's a street behind Paulista Avenue to the side of Jardins, if I'm not mistaken, or to the side of the downtown. I don't remember. I think it's downtown. It was an abandoned big house, old Spanish or Portuguese house, abandoned. They didn't do much there. But the place was so big, it had a small park, it had another big tower. I think a French group bought it, and it's transforming the landscape of the Jardins. But transforming, guys. It's gonna be a 6-star location in São Paulo. The tower is already a 5-star hotel now, and there's a French guy heading the whole thing, leading the whole construction. I saw an interview with him in Portuguese. It was very interesting. He's already speaking Portuguese. And the modifications this Cidade Matarazzo will bring to São Paulo is majestic. And it's just one project among so many mega projects that are under construction in São Paulo. I just hope this guy, this governor, he really put everything in practice. He really do everything that he's promising. I just hope that, because I don't want it to be just a promise like Dilma Rousseff in 2012, the promise a bullet train that would connect Rio to São Paulo for the World Cup, and it never happened. Never happened. Right? People believed her, and it never happened. So I just hope everything that I am seeing, all the things that have been approved, because they need they need the São Paulo politicians to approve. Like there is a small Congress. I don't know if Congress is the best name. The chairman, right, of the city, to approve, and all of them have been approved. We have budget for all the projects. Last time the governor mentioned, I think he had $40 billion in his safe, the state safe, to use with the expansion. Something like this. I don't remember exactly, but it was a lot of money that even covered the line of Guarulhos, because Guarulhos is going to be light blue, the color of the line. We have the blue line already, which is the first of the city, north to south. The other one will be the light blue line that will cut Guarulhos. So even this investment is already in the forecast, you know? Yeah, less traffic, hillbilly, that's for sure. I'll let you follow this Metro channel and translate. I will create a video of my own. I'm actually, this you guys don't know, I've been working on a video about the subway for the past 1.5 years. Believe me, every time I take the subway, I film it from a different angle. I am putting a lot of videos together because I want the most incredible video you guys have ever seen. I want the most incredible video you guys have ever seen about the Brazilian subway. So the São Paulo subway. So I've been, first filming, and then I'm gonna put it together. How long will it take to get from one end to another? Jonathan, how are you? What are you asking me, man? I don't remember because I mentioned a lot of lines here. The construction job with the cement bags was in Paraíso. Maybe it was just a cheaper. Yeah, probably. What's holding it up? What exactly are you talking? They canceled it, I guess. More than 40 million. No, I said a billion, but I don't think it's even 40 billion. I think it's more than 40 billion dollars. But I think it's 40 billion dollars or reais. I don't remember. The figure exactly, I don't remember. But he mentioned a lot of money. Let me see if I can find this. 1 second. Okay. The government of the state of São Paulo, through several initiatives and partnerships, has an approximate reserve of 470 billion reais. 470 billion reais to use in many projects: infrastructure, economical development, transportation, and several other investments. 470 billion reais the state of São Paulo is using. And also creating new houses. Incredible. The bullet train from São Paulo to Rio, Jonathan. Yeah, look, it was a promise from this government of PT, but when it was Dilma Rousseff, right? Because remember, Lula was a president for 8 years, and then he put Dilma, and then they got the approval for the World Cup and the Olympic Games, and one of the promises was to construct. Even if you go to YouTube and you type Dilma Trembala, you see her speaking. We're gonna have a bullet train until 2014. Well, it's 11 years later, we don't have a bullet train. What is holding it up? Well, I think the government understood it was such a huge construction, and they decided not to invest on this. It would be costly. So the private sector, the companies, decided to have a pole and put their hands or dirt their hands, right? Because they have had an approval from the federal government for the construction, and they are in partnership with a big Chinese company to make the project viable. So I don't know exactly what is the situation nowadays. I could also make a video about this, right? To talk about where exactly we are, because last time I checked, it had been approved by the government, and but they said, oh, we are in the phase of studies already. We will start in maybe a year and a half or two. That was some time ago that I saw, you know. But it would be good to have. The only thing, I think I saw a report like 2 weeks ago that the tickets would cost 500 reais per person, per head. 500 reais is a lot of money, seriously. Hillbilly said you're putting together a documentary. Yeah, something like that. I wanna, because the best videos about the subway, Hillbilly, were made by Brazilians to Brazilians. There's nobody on this YouTube to make a video like this for you guys, looking at you guys, the foreigners. I am the one who's gonna do this. I know I'm alone on that. I work hard, but it's gonna come out. I'm gonna collect a lot of images, and I'm gonna give you details of expansion. Why haven't I released it yet? Because I wanted at least something of the new lines to be concrete as well. At least something, not the lines ready, because it's gonna take a while. But I wanna show you at least how they are already building the stations and everything. So let's see. Oh, the John McNulty is among us. Thanks for being here, John. The bullet train. Okay, they've been trying to build a bullet train, San Francisco to Los Angeles for years, and it's gone nowhere. Yeah, I wonder why, man. I think people invest too much in cars and gasoline. That's a problem. The rail fail in Cali. Oh my God. 9.7 B, that could work. We've been trying to build an interstate from Phoenix to Vegas, and that's not going anywhere. Yeah, that's a problem, man. And for that reason, I really like Europe because if you look at the transportation in Europe, guys, it's amazing. Amazing. You can go anywhere with a train. You can go anywhere with a car. Even with a car, good roads. Airplanes are cheap, so it's very cool. And trains basically cut the whole continent. I remember Austria. I have very good memories of Austria. Vienna, uh, you know, smaller cities. I don't remember the name now. There was one that it was even the capital of Winter Games. Forgot the name. Vegas is a ghost town this day. Why is that? Because of people are not traveling to the US anymore? They're afraid of the ICE, the ice. Yeah, so I think there are a lot of things going on in São Paulo, man. But Neil's question was very cool. How about other cities that are surprising people in terms of development? I think I could really cover that part as well. You know? Yeah, I kind of figured, John. I've heard a lot of things about people not wanting to go to the US because of everything that's going on. Um, every day there's a new video about immigration and the agents arresting people, right? Yeah, but I don't know how much this is going to cause an impact, right, in tourism. Maybe a lot. I don't know if the Europeans are still going to the US. Yeah, Ruaka, Runda. Okay, Europe has shorter distances. And there's another important thing, Ruaka, that we have to consider. First of all, where are you speaking from? Thanks for being here. I normally ask where people are speaking from because I want to see the reach of the channel, if you don't mind. Uh, there's another thing, Ruaka, that we need to mention here. Uh, the topography, right? If you look at the topography in Europe, you have a lot of flat floors, flat ground, like in the US as well. The US would be a perfect location for trains, because as far as I know, it's pretty flat. Brazil is very, very hilly, you know. Just so you know, the street where I live, for me to go to the supermarket, I go down or I go up. And it's funny because the avenue that takes us to the south coast of São Paulo is going down my street. But if I go up, I go to the subway. So just so you understand, take a look. That's the avenue to take you to the beach. This is my house, and here is the subway. So from the avenue to the subway, it's like this. That's Brazil, man. There are flat places, but normally you have a lot of hilly things. So how can you cut through mountains? It's more money. Laurel, Maryland. Thank you. I think you had already said that to me. Thank you very much. Yes, I think you did. I just didn't remember. Thank you, Maryland. Wonderful. It's a famous state, at least for me here. So I think it's gonna cost a lot of money to put a train line anywhere here to connect to cities. But let's see, if they wanna do, they can do anything. The point is something that I heard, guys, and that I agree with, is what is the demand for such a project, right? What is the demand? Because imagine building a bullet train or a trem bala, as we say in Portuguese, and you don't have a demand. People don't want to travel there, so all the investment is going to go down in the dumps, right? The investors need to get the money back, so it's very important that they study these things very carefully to understand how many people would be using or the interest of the population. I would certainly be one of the passengers. I would love, 'cause I like trains very much. I would love to be on a train to Rio. Can you imagine? It would be amazing. 1.5 hours you'll be in Rio, just enjoying the view. Fantastic. The hills in Vila Madalena are crazy. Yeah, Jonathan loves Vila Madalena, and he knows. Yeah, but the worst one, Jonathan, is in Jardins, my brother. Because then again, Avenida Paulista is right here, just to be in front of the camera. Avenida Paulista is right here, Jardins is right here, and then Faria Lima is right here, and Pinheiros is on the level of Faria Lima. So it's always up and down, up and down, up and down. I live on the level of Paulista, okay, going straight forward to the south. I live on the level of a little more to the middle, but almost the same level of Paulista, a little bit more. But the differences are just crazy. There are areas of Jardins that, for me, you just just move with a car because it's just too steep, you know. Yes, exactly. Imagine we need a train to Brasilia. Actually, we needed trains to connect this whole country. It would be amazing. Of course, I don't know how possible this would be because imagine from São Paulo to Fortaleza, more than 3,000 kilometers. More, I think 5,000. Let me see the distance. Brazil is just too big. It's funny because when I was in Fortaleza, I entered the Uber app and I said, let me see how much it would cost to pick up a car from from São Paulo to Fortaleza. It would take me 5 days. Yeah, 3,091 kilometers for the Americans. Kilometers to miles. For the Americans watching here, I know you guys are a big number. Let me show you. How much did I say? 3,900? Yeah, no, 3,091 kilometers. So 3,091 kilometers. 1,920 miles of distance between Fortaleza, the capital of Ceará, and São Paulo. You know? So, or at least you could build a train to go until halfway, or maybe to go to Brasília, and from Brasília to São Paulo. Everything's possible, you know. We are already considered a gigantic country in many levels here in South America. The other countries tend to speak very highly of Brazil. I see the videos almost every day from the Argentinians, the Uruguayans, always complimenting on Brazil for the economy. They all even use Brazil as a model for their presentations at universities. One of my classmates, when I was in college, he went to study 6 months, a semester in Buenos Aires, and he said that Brazil was just the topic of the conversation. So we would even increase this popularity, and not only for South America but for the world, if we invested more in bringing Brazil to a level of infrastructure never seen before. That would be amazing. You know, flights that were cheaper, and also, you know, offering you guys possibilities of enjoying the country much more. I sometimes I say something, some people laugh at me. I don't know if I'm crazy or kind of smart, because I really say there are countries that are more prepared to receive tourists than others. I think the United States is very much prepared to receive. Oh, Jason, how are you, my friend? Jason, guys, a friend of mine, and also friend of ours, from Jonathan, from Neil as well, and a good student of Brazilian Portuguese. So, as I was saying, I think the U.S. is very much prepared to receive tourists, even though I've never been there. But as far as I've been told, and I've studied, if I were like the governor of São Paulo, I would definitely do all the things that this guy is doing, expanding. But I would also work on attractions for the tourists, like new parks. And when I say parks, not with trees, but amusement parks with roller coasters. We lack this for the youth. My daughter is 10 years old now. I really wanted to take her to a park. I have to go on the outskirts of the city, Cotia, which is a municipality, because they have Hopi Hari. But it's the only park nowadays. We needed more. When I was a kid and a teenager in this city, there was a place called Play Center, an amusement park called Play Center. I grew up going there. It was amazing. Unfortunately, the guys, I don't know if they went broke, but they closed the doors. Or they had a problem with the land, and they just exist in shopping malls nowadays, which is a shame. But another thing I would do is, Rio has the Christ the Redeemer, right? What is the landmark of São Paulo? We don't have it. That's bridge with the cables. Okay, but Marcelo for president. Do you believe, Jonathan? My wife wanted me to become a politician when I was in college, because I was studying politics, I was studying economics, history, and I always spoke very highly of this area. Said, go into politics. We need a leader. But no, I said no. I don't think it's a good idea. They pay a very high price. I don't want to do that. I want to be a businessman, an entrepreneur, and then bring investments to my country to help the kids have better schools, these kind of things. I don't want to get involved into politics. But I would definitely work on a landmark for São Paulo, something that represents our history, for people to want to go and visit, something monumental, this big a statue somewhere in the city, for everybody to say, where is it located? Oh, let's go there. Because that's what tourists want, 25 de março, São Paulo landmark, okay. You're very funny, my friend. But you're joking, but a lot of people come to 25 de março, even from other countries, Paraguay, Uruguay, Argentina, buses come to shop, Disney Ibirapuera Park, thank you, John. You guys are guys of vision, thank you. It would be amazing to have a Disney World Ibirapuera. Can you imagine? That would be amazing. There is a store here. Have you guys ever heard of Cacau Show? Cacau Show is a store for chocolate. That's why the name is Cacau, from cocoa. Cacau Show. It's a billionaire company in São Paulo nowadays. The guy is a self-made billionaire. Every shopping mall you go, you have a Cacau Show. Americans. I missed some phrases here. Sorry, some messages. Yes. Their state system took many years to build. Okay, Americans would fly first. Yep. So as I was saying, Cacau Show is present in many shopping malls nowadays. And this guy is a visionary, so he has been buying some amusement parks, or maybe small amusement parks, to have a stall only for his company, for his chocolate. We even call him Willy Wonka from Brazil. Can you imagine? The Brazilian Willy Wonka. And he has recently bought the rights of Play Center, the park that I loved when I was a teenager. My first sweethearts I kissed in that park. I have a big history with that story, with that park. I went with a group of family members, friends. We were always there. Every 2-3 months we were going to Play Center. It was just fantastic. So the guy bought the rights of this park, and he promises to build a park very soon inside São Paulo. Let's see, I haven't heard anything else anymore. This was a while ago. But some people say he wants to create a park for him to be really established as the Brazilian Willy Wonka. So he will mix chocolate with the attractions. Let's see, as a father, I would love to have a place like this to take my daughter. That's for sure. Nowadays, I don't think about only my entertainment. I think about her. I like to see her having a blast. Like there is a place called Parque da Mônica. Okay? Parque da Mônica or Monica's amusement park. You guys know already. You have been following the channel for a while. You know what Monica is, right? Talking about this gang here, the Brazilian characters. This is Monica. Cebolinha. In English is Jimmy Five. This is Maggie or Magali in Portuguese, and this is Smudge or Cascão. Her name I don't know because she's a new character in the story. When I was a kid, she wasn't in the group. Nowadays, she is. It's a brand new character. They have made the idea of inclusion. Look, there's a boy in a wheelchair, right? So they have a park, a theme park from Turma da Mônica, from Monica's gang. I've already taken Manu there, and it was fantastic. It was incredible. I remember her. You know, she was baffled by all the attractions, by all the things, all the colors, all the music. So we need more. So if you guys are millionaire in the US, please make it happen in Brazil. Come to São Paulo and invest in attractions for kids. You're going to become filthy rich. Willy Wonka was a movie. He's a character of a movie. He is the owner of a chocolate factory, right? That's why this guy here in Brazil is known as the Brazilian Willy Wonka, because he wants to do something similar to what the movie shows, right? Because the factory had a lot of attractions for kids as well. This is the thing. If you go to China, John, based on what you're saying here, okay? Based myself on what you said here. If you go to China, and I've never been there, but I've heard, they have these majestic investments, or maybe Dubai. You know, they have these majestic investments for really calling people to come. Hey, come, invest your money here, stay in the hotels here. São Paulo is so rich. I think it's time. I know the infrastructure is more important, okay, but open possibilities for private investors to come and put the money, you know. Genie Wilder or Wilder, I don't know. Open the give a tax. What is it? Tax lifting, exemption? I don't remember. For these people to come and invest, and my God, you're gonna make so much money with parking lot, because there are so many kids in the city, man. And where do they go to have fun? Even teenagers. Teenagers need something that is not only Ibirapuera Park or the shopping malls. Kids are tired of the shopping malls. I think it's time we create something for them to get together, for them to desire vacation to come so that they can meet their school friends in these parks. So I repeat, if you guys are millionaire or billionaires, come to São Paulo, open something for the kids and the teenagers, something in the entertainment segment, you know. We have a lot of cinemas. We have IMAX. We have all these things, Cinemark, that unfortunately does not belong to me, despite the name. But we need more things. We need more attractions. We need things that will really baffle the kids, with dinosaurs, with airplanes, you know. Yeah, Santos would be a possibility. I don't know if they would have the physical space for that, right, John? I hope so, because Santos has grown so much. I don't know if they would have a place to build such a park. And there has to be some kind of study on this, because I remember we had an artist in Brazil called Xuxa. Xuxa was the most famous TV presenter for a kids show. Nowadays we don't have kids show in the open television, right? But Xuxa was the most famous. She got famous everywhere in the world. I think even in the U.S. there was a with the Latino population. She was very famous. People even started negotiating for her to open a show on TV in Spanish for the people living in the U.S. at the time, but it never worked out. So why am I talking about Xuxa? Because Xuxa opened her park for a time period. You know, she opened her park for a time period. And I just don't know if it was EU administration, management, right? I don't know what happened, but she had to close. Maybe she didn't see the profits coming back. It was a theme park based on her image because she was very famous everywhere, especially in South America. But she had to close the doors. Another famous guy called Gugu Liberato, he was a TV presenter, also millionaire, opened his park, Parque do Gugu. I think never worked well. Yeah, you were asking about Olympia, right, John? Because I made that video about the parks in Olympia, the water parks. But Olympia is kind of far away from here. Let's see the distance. "448 kilometers. 448 kilometers in miles. 278 miles of distance between São Paulo and Olympia. It's not close. It's a 5 hour and 20 minute car ride. You know, 5 hours and 20 minutes, a long time. I'm talking about something closer to the city. We need more attractions close to São Paulo, or even inside São Paulo. That would be amazing. That would bring the city even more to this public from abroad that is discovering São Paulo. Because nowadays we have more and more tourists in the city. It's incredible. Every day I go to the streets and I hear different languages: French, Spanish, English. It's fantastic. Sometimes I'm making a video and I hear somebody speak English. I was in a Festa Junina last Saturday. I came across a group of American girls in the party. I knew because of the accent. So that's incredible, right? If we had more things to offer, first, fix the thing with the subway, the tickets. People should be able to come buy the card and pay the fare for 5 days. But there was fraud. Okay, work it better for not to have fraud. But we need a card for the tourists. Only the people who have CPF, only the people who live here will be able to take the subway. Or the guys will have to pay in cash. Oh, come on. I think the foreigners needed a system to access the ticket on the app, just like I do. I buy things through the app, but just because I'm Brazilian. I wanted my friends from the US to have the same privilege. To access, buy, to accept international cards or any other forms of payment. And make it happen. Make the city comfortable for tourists. Tourists come here not to have problem. They come to São Paulo to enjoy the city. I wouldn't like to enjoy the city having trouble. For everything is so hard. Oh my God, I need to take the subway. Oh, let's take the Uber because the subway is impossible. Come on. Yeah, Pinheiros, Jardins, and Paulista, I think it's almost impossible, John. But we have other areas that are expanding, like Barra Funda, my friend. Barra Funda is the west side. All the, or I think the most buildings that are being constructed are on the west side of the city. It's an area that is getting very rich. The towers, more than 30 floors, 40 floors, incredible. Big skyscrapers and are apartment buildings. Very rich area. But you have a lot of land to explore, a lot of factories. I'll give you one example that just occurred to me. It just struck me. There is a neighborhood called Ipiranga here. It's where our independence was proclaimed and everything. Um, Close to Ipiranga, it's an old area. The Italians stayed very much in this area. Mocha, the name is Mocha. You write with double O, but you say Mocha, not Mocha. So Mocha has a lot of old factories. I was in an Uber going to Guarulhos the other day, and we drove by. Guys, I'm talking about. Jesus Christ! I can't even precise the size of the land. Count 20 blocks, 10 blocks, 10 huge blocks, factories, all abandoned. One is a train station. You could buy that place, tear down the factory, and put a huge park there. Oh, the traffic. Yeah, the traffic will be a problem. We have subway systems that will take you there. We have train lines that will take you there. Don't go with the car. You go at your own risk and expense. Take the car. You know? Yeah, Mocha is good for the pizza. Yeah, that's the problem, Hillbilly. That's the problem. Yeah, what you are describing here is exactly what pisses me off. Have I written to the Secretaria de Turismo or the tourism office? I have no answer. I think I will keep pissing them off for them to listen to my voice. Because I am trying to defend you guys. I'm trying to defend all the tourists that want to come to the city. Like I was in Santiago in Chile, and I had a blast. It was very easy for me to buy a card there. You know? Let me see if I think I still have it. It's a big mess here, but I think I have it somewhere. Oh, I have the one from Rio. Take a look. Rio card. Oh, this is a good thing. Foreigners. So Rio is better prepared than São Paulo, of course, because of the number of tourists they receive. You know? No, wait. Retrofit them to condos. But man, we have a lot of condos already being built in São Paulo, Hillbilly. A lot, man. Everywhere you just see residential towers. We need. Okay, a lot of people are gonna live in São Paulo. But what are they going to do here to entertain their families? We need something in the entertainment segment. We need to put São Paulo as one of the capital of the world with the best things to do. I want Americans to go back home and say, hey, I had a blast in São Paulo. Look, they have this park, they have this, they have that illusion cinema. Whatever. Create things to entertain your visitors. We don't have that. I don't know if I still have that card. I used to. It was so simple. I went to the machine, bought it, put the credit, started using their subway. And their subway, I'm gonna be honest, if you are from Chile, please don't get mad. Don't get mad at me. But their train's weird. They have wheels and tires on the track. It's kind of bizarre. Oh, in the past we had this, bilhete único. We still have this, I guess, for the students from the subway in São Paulo. But I can't find the one from Chile. So our subway is 100 times better, but we fail on offering a good service in terms of making it easy for tourists to navigate through the system with the cards and stuff. Yeah, the problem is, Hillbilly mentioned like build the condos. That's what that's what the developers are doing. They are battling to buy those lands and put more towers. São Paulo will be irrecognizable in the next 5 or 10 years. Just towers, 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 towers. Spider-Man would love living here, just to swing by the towers, because it'll be towers all the time. We need more things. Like the Cidade Matarazzo was an amazing discovery for me, because it's a hotel and also a big house that will work as a gallery for art, a park, restaurants, new things to attract the people. How much is one of those old factories? No idea, man. But they take the whole block. The whole block? No, the whole 5, probably 10 blocks big. It's a long street that you take at the end of Ricardo Jafé, that goes by Ipiranga, the museum, and then you take a left. Avenida do Estado, or State Avenue, you cross it. And there's a big one, I forgot the name, that will take you almost to Guarulhos, to Dutra, in Guarulhos. So it's a very long street. Lots of abandoned places there, man. Your people are the country's best at. I know that. Thank you very much for this. I know this is the differential in Brazil. We also need to offer better things, I guess. So if I could work in one of these offices, especially the tourism, would change a lot of things. You would definitely learn about this is the new São Paulo landscape. It would be Mark Saint like this. Oh. And then you guys would go and take pictures in front of my statue like this. It would be amazing. No, maybe Brad Zucker. Imagine Brad Zucker's statue, like very, very, very high. You guys would love this. Yeah, when I say what style, okay, style entertainment, I'm talking about the general, right? Something that would attract families, tourists, or we could also produce something for every category, for the youngsters, for the kids. I heard something about the Nickelodeon Park opening in São Paulo after Play Center left. Never happened, unfortunately. It would have been amazing. I really hope someone that has a lot of money, but a lot of money is watching this live stream, so that they say, okay, call me my lawyer in Brazil, or find me a lawyer in Brazil. I'm going to start opening companies and invest there and put a park there. The Saint of São Paulo. Saint Mark, thank you. Thank you very much. You'll be amazing. But yes, that's what I think. I think we need more. I just hope with more visitors, a better subway lines, trains, other things will come, you know. Other things will come as well. So let's see. It's just my opinion, of course. I know we have other priorities, but it's very important to also think about the tourists, right? Guys, we are reaching almost 2 hours here, man. Wow, I started 6:30 p.m. It's almost 8:30. Thank you very much for being with me up until now. I really would like to ask you to smash the like button. Do not forget to interact with the content here. Very important that you do that if you want to see this channel grow more and more. Maybe one day, John, maybe one day. But at least I wanted them to listen to my suggestions. That would be at least the start of the whole thing. So smash the like button, subscribe. Guys, if you can, consider becoming a member of the channel. There are categories that are very cheap. There are three categories. One of them is $3 a month. Okay, so if you can help me, like John is doing, like Hillbilly is doing, thank you very much for being members. It means the world for what we are producing. Every penny invested on the channel by you guys is used with the channel. It's right now in an investment to generate more interest, and it's going to be applied for the trips and for everything else, okay? And also for new equipment, for new cameras, new computer and stuff. Guys, I appreciate your support. Thank you very much, but I'm leaving. I have something else to do here. It's been a pleasure. I'll always be here Mondays and Fridays. When I am not, pay attention because I usually leave a message through Instagram or I send a note here on YouTube you guys receive as well. So keep an eye on the channel as often as you can. Appreciate everything you're doing. If you can't support the channel through the communities, just watch the videos, binge watch, leave the comments, all the things that you know that help YouTubers. Producing content is not easy, guys, so your support goes a long way. My God. Thank you very much. God bless you all. Tenha ótimo fim de semana. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you soon. Okay? Bye-bye, guys.